Our guest today is a Democratic candidate for Cook County Board President. She is currently the alderman of the 4th Ward and has been a dedicated community leader for over 2 decades. Our guest today earned her bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Chicago. Our guest today is married and has 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, candidate for the Cook County Board President, Toni Preckwinkle. Have some fun up here.
Thank you. Good afternoon. First, I'd like to thank the City Club for inviting me to speak today. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm also pleased to see so many of my friends in the audience today. And forgive me for not identifying you personally, because I'll leave out someone and then I'll be in big trouble. Last year, when I started this campaign for Cook County Board President, the conventional wisdom was that I was a long shot. But the conventional wisdom failed to measure the depth of voter dissatisfaction in Cook County. We're living through some of the most difficult times that we've seen since the Great Depression. Millions are out of work and without health insurance. Home foreclosures have reached historic highs. And for those who have kept their homes and their jobs and their health insurance, there remains a deep sense of anxiety. Our economic conditions on their own are enough to foster hostility toward incumbents. And that's sobering for those of us who are Democrats. But the commitments to reform that were made by the Stroger administration and the promises broken led the people of Cook County to demand a regime change. In fact, the greatest failure of this administration is not mismanagement. It's not endemic corruption. It's not all the patronage employees, though these are serious shortcomings. It's rather the current administration's cynical disregard for the wishes, concerns, and fears of the citizens of Cook County, as exemplified by its stubborn defense of the Cook County sales tax increase. I campaigned throughout Cook County with a detailed plan, which I called a Compact for Change, to bring desperately needed transparency, accountability, and efficiency to Cook County government. At the top of this compact was my commitment to repeal the rest of the sales tax increase in conjunction with implementing responsible spending practices, eliminating wasteful programs, and ensuring that the county fully captures all due income. We must work to improve the county's economy, not only by fully repealing the sales tax increase, but also by assessing opportunities for economic development, prioritizing job training programs, and allocating additional funds for new growing sectors. As Cook County Board President, I'm committed to identifying ways for the county to play a more active role in economic development and regional planning. We have a real opportunity to redefine Cook County's place as the economic hub of the Midwest. President Obama recently made good on his commitment to provide resources for high-speed rail, dedicating $8 billion for transportation projects throughout the country, including $1.1 billion for the corridor from St. Louis to Chicago. I've wanted to see high-speed rail since I first got to the City Council in 1991. And I used to spend time in the Municipal Reference Library trying to look at all the resources that they had, thinking that this was a citywide and a regional issue that I might promote. And I'm excited to see it to become a reality. Yet I know that our economy neither begins nor ends with high-speed rail. We must work with business leaders to recruit and attract new industries to the region. I've spoken with Jerry Roper of the Chamber of Commerce, with Everett Rand at the Illinois Restaurant Association, and with many others to talk about developing plans for strengthening and supporting businesses within Cook County. We must also invest in our workforce. As Cook County Board President, I pledge to explore and identify employment and job training opportunities to prepare workers for 21st century jobs, including the areas of sustainability, natural resource conservation, and environment-related technology. This is the time to take full advantage of President Obama's commitment to sustainability and an opportunity to build up Chicago and Cook County as the Midwest's hub for green jobs, technology, and innovation. While economic development is a vital issue that faces Cook County, it's not where most of our tax dollars go. Now more than ever, resources throughout the county are scarce, and in order to ensure the best services to our residents, we must be more efficient. I saw Bill Foley and Warren Batts and some of the other members of the independent governing board of our healthcare system as I was going around the room. I've been a firm believer that the independent health board must be made permanent. Created in 2008 through the good work of Commissioner Suffredin and others to provide independent oversight of our healthcare system, it has reduced costs and improved the quality of delivery of services. I applaud Bill Foley and the Board of Directors, and I'm committed to working with them to ensure that all Cook County residents have access to good health care services. In addition to the services provided directly by the county, we've got to work with safety net hospitals and our community clinics to provide comprehensive health care for all of our residents. Last week, the Cook County Board of Commissioners passed a set of measures that may bring us into compliance with the Duran and Hardington decrees that have required federal monitoring of overcrowding at the jail and the mental health of the jail population. This is the result of decades of work rebuilding a broken system. Chronic overcrowding has been reduced, mental health and suicide prevention services established and strengthened, and substance abuse programs instituted. Now we have an ideal opportunity to focus on nonviolent offenders and expand the services and alternatives to incarceration available to them. Tom Dart at the Sheriff's Office has developed a number of programs that address the challenges faced by inmates, including a day reporting center, a less restrictive form of custody that provides men with drug treatment and mental health services tailored to their needs and at a fraction of the cost of incarceration. It costs $117 a day to keep somebody in the jail, but it costs $60 for this program, and it provides drug treatment, behavioral, and mental health services. I'm committed to working with the sheriff to identify and allocate resources to expand alternative programs, such as the day reporting program, that not only provide effective treatment and significantly reduce the rate of recidivism, but also enable us to concentrate on violent offenders. As I've said numerous times before, I decided to run for Cook County Board President because I believe that government has two obligations: to provide good service and to do that as effectively and efficiently as possible. I also believe that Cook County government has failed on both counts for a very long time. We can no longer afford to continue the old ways of doing things when we know that there are more effective and efficient ways of operating. We've all read the stories: staff caught sleeping on the job, relatives on the payroll. When I first declared my candidacy, one of the things that I found most interesting was that I would be stopped on the street outside of City Hall around the county building by people who would not identify themselves, but who would say that they were county workers and tell me that when I became county board president, would I please do something about the fact that there was a person in their office who read the newspaper all day while they were trying to do their work, or who was on their personal cell phone all day while they were trying to do their work. The lack of accountability and efficiency not only saps resources from critical programs and services, it also erodes taxpayer confidence that Cook County government can effectively represent their interests. In order to make real change, we need to demand a higher standard of performance and set in place new measures to ensure that these standards are met. The citizens and taxpayers deserve a government that strives to meet their needs. And the employees of Cook County, who are working in earnest every day to serve the public, deserve leadership and managers that are competent, dedicated, and qualified. One of my first actions as Cook County Board President will be to name a chief operating officer who shares my commitment to efficiency and can ensure that best practices from the public and private sector are put in place here in Cook County government. Similar to how the chief operating officer functions at the state level or in the private sector, the county's chief operating officer will take on the responsibility of making sure that Cook County government and its employees are providing the best service and doing so effectively and efficiently. This should include looking at information technology platforms in place and identifying the upgrades and investments necessary to allow citizens to access services online. This is both more convenient and more efficient for citizens as well as cost-effective. Put simply, it should be easier for our citizens to interact with the government that represents them, and our website should be one resource to facilitate that interaction. I'm committed to bringing the best practices from both the public and private sectors into county government in order to address performance failures and institute better operating procedures. As board president, I will ask the chief operating officer to immediately conduct a comprehensive personnel audit of all Cook County staff under my purview, starting with the Office of the President, in order to determine productivity and the cost and benefit of each employee. And because leadership must start at the top, I renew my promise to take a 10% pay cut effective my first day in office. These are the first steps toward a long overdue process of making county government more efficient from top to bottom. As Cook County Board President, I'm committed to creating a culture of competence and dedication among the people who work for Cook County. I'm committed to engaging and drawing on the talents of people across the county, and our county is very diverse, in order to deliver more efficient and effective county government. This is not just about my time in office. I want to leave a legacy of professionalism by attracting the best and the brightest from all corners of the county. We definitely have our work cut out for us. I say we because I think this is a collective enterprise, and I remain grateful to you for your support. I'll remain focused on the task before us. Thank you very much, and I'd be glad to entertain your questions. Are you going to help me with the questions?
Better that than the answers.
All right. Touche. Touche.
Go around the room, Tweed, and we have Jenny back there. Raise your hand if you have questions. They will be walking. I have one here. Will you continue to criticize President Stroger's administration throughout your campaign?
Well, actually, I guess I got to plead guilty to that in my remarks this afternoon. I wanted to kind of set a framework for where we want to go after December of this year. But we're beginning to look at some policy teams to address some of the broadest areas of county government that I think need attention: governance, the forest preserves, economic development, healthcare, and criminal justice. And I'm going to ask those teams to prepare not only briefing papers, but action plans, so that after the election we can kind of hit the ground running. I think trying to do transition in November when you take office in December is a real disadvantage. So we're not taking anything for granted, knock on wood, but we're getting started now on trying to address some of the tough issues that the county faces.
You know, a lot of people are either looking for contracts or jobs, or all a bunch of cowards. Here we go. Well, this is a good one. This is from Christy Hefner. You feeling better, Miss Hefner? Thank you very much. What are the barriers to implementing your vision and ideas, and how will you overcome them?
Well, let me address that in a little different way. The challenge I think that we face is not simply mine alone. I think it's really important to bring in a very strong team into county government, to bring talented and dedicated folks of all descriptions into leadership positions. I think for a very long time, nobody paid much attention to county government, and ironically, it was the imposition of the sales tax increase that led the media to focus on county government more, and for the general public to be more aware of what was being done and what was going wrong. So what I hope to do is bring in a strong leadership team and change the culture in the county to one that's more focused on performance and constituent service. And I think that's going to be a difficult task, but I think it's the most important one when you start out. Unless you have good people in place, it's hard to implement your policies and programs. So that's where we're going to begin.
I just wrote another question. Boy, I'll tell you, if this was a class, none of you get credit for class participation, I'll tell you that. I thought Bill Gaynor would have something to say, but good God, sitting next to Skinny. One other question, and that's it. Are you willing, are you ready to declare that you will debate your opponent or opponents at the City Club?
I think I've done this once already, as I recall. So yes, of course.
All right.
There have to be more questions. What is this?
I don't know. You either answer them all or they're afraid of you. Yell it out. Yell it out. Question is, will you support merit selection of the judiciary?
You know, I'm a Democratic committeeman, and I feel like this is a question directed to me as a committeeman and not maybe as a county board presidential candidate. I believe that the diversity that we have come to see on the bench is a function of the electoral process, and in particular, the drawing of sub-circuit districts, which allowed African Americans, Latinos, and other around the state to have an opportunity to be on the bench. So I guess my short answer to that is no.
Boy, they're coming up now. Look at this. Now. These are called guilt questions. Oh, this will take a while. From the incredible Michael Bauer, who has written not an ode but an essay. As part of your review of Cook County government, will you examine other county-wide elected offices to determine what positions appointed rather than elected, staffing levels? In other words, are you going to look at all the other county officials who get their budget from your Board of Commissioners?
I focused my remarks this afternoon on efficiencies and effectiveness within my own office and within my own purview. But yes, I think this is, when you start with yourself, it's easier to go to other elected officials and say, these are the kinds of things we've done, these are the kind of personnel audits we've done, these are the kind of management changes we've instituted. We hope to work with you to do some of the same kind of things. But I think when you start at home, you can make a better case for yourself as you're begging and wheedling and cajoling other elected officials.
This is from State Senator Kwame Raoul, who's my state senator, and Kwame, you know what happened to my last state senator. I expect no less. Question: what is the role of Providence Hospital in your vision?
Well, in fairness, I have to say that I have pledged that I want to make permanent the independent governance of the healthcare system, so I have to take my lead from the Independent Governing Board and from Bill Foley. I know, however, and to his credit, my state senator has worked very hard in Springfield to bring resources to Providence Hospital and to try to facilitate a partnership between the University of Chicago and its tremendous resources as a teaching hospital and Provident as a community hospital. So needless to say, I'd be happy to work with him, as I have been doing, and with the independent governing board around this issue. One of the problems we've had in county government is we have not been aggressive enough about pursuing resources at the state and federal level. And this has kind of been a gift from Senator Raoul. So we need to figure out how we can make best use of that gift and seek additional resources to support both health care and criminal justice, which are our biggest expenditures in the county at the state and federal level. So thank you, Senator.
This question's from Diane Williams from the Safer Foundation. Diane, where are you?
In the back.
In the back. Well, I can't read the first word. Maybe you can. It looks like dog.
Day Reporting Center. Day Reporting Center certainly offers effective clinical justice programming. Work release is another option that offers effective crime reduction and recidivism reduction. I was a teacher, see, I can read this. He had it coming, didn't he? So the question is, am I considering these kind of things? The short answer is yes. I think what we've seen over the last several decades is incarcerating large numbers of people on drug offenses and nonviolent offenses is not helpful to either them or us. We've got to figure out ways to help people turn their lives around. That involves treatment and drug treatment, mental and behavioral health services, and not just consigning people to jail time. So the short answer is yes.
I'll read this one. By the way, legibility really helped. I'm sorry, I couldn't read that. But he gave well, maybe not a former teacher, a chance to answer. How do you envision implementing sustainability into the county?
Well, I think we have to look at our own buildings, our own facilities first and foremost, retrofitting them. I think that we have to figure out, not just for our own buildings though, but in our building codes for unincorporated areas, what we're going to demand of people in terms of sustainability. And then we have to look at job opportunities and how we can foster, promote, nurture this part of the economy. And again, President Obama has said that this is something that he really wants to focus on, green technology and sustainability. And I think, you know, as his hometown and his home community, we need to make the case in Washington that we ought to be the center of that kind of activity and ask for their help and support.